It's the Leylo Show. Hit that subscribe button for me, player. Years down the line, you had a situation, and I actually got an alert on my phone when this happened.
Right.
When you got
I got right.
Yeah.
By my nephew. So, and you know, it's crazy because, so this is what 50 posted. He posted the interview I did in Boston with some young guys. You know, everybody, you know, everyone has, with the snitching and everything, everybody tries to expose and everyone wants to, you know. The thing with me and Guy was family business. But I never wanted to really expose what was behind all this. Because it's, you know what I'm saying, it's nobody's business, you know. Because family business is supposed to be kept in house.
Correct.
But he's been trying to put out there that I snitched. And now that's all over the place, and I can't have that. All I got is my name. And see, the internet's one thing. Motherfuckers could put rats, snitches, that don't bother me. A come to me on some shit in person with that, then, you know, it's gonna go all the way left.
Yeah.
And how it fought and how it ends is how it ends. But I'm not going for it. I'm not going. Like I've been out here too long, man. Like I done been a few times. I done been through too much in Boston, real shit from the age of 13 all the way up to like be worried about somebody out here. I'm not worried about nobody. I don't bully nobody. I don't fuck with nobody. I help people. I've been helping people. If a motherfucker think they're gonna try to like scar my name on the internet, I can't bark at every car that comes by on the internet. You'd be a fool.
Right.
In person, if it happens, because it hasn't, I get stupid love out here. I mean, I get mobbed. It's the most famous and loved and everything when I'm out here. And I'm outside a lot. I don't know this internet.
Right.
So, the story. I grew up in Boston with my mother and my two sisters. My two older sisters, but we had different fathers. Right? We grew up in the projects. I looked up to my older sisters. They're all I had. But I was my mother and father's only son. So, my father, back then, their father was, now again, I didn't know this because I wasn't there, but was, because my sisters are like 4 or 5 years older than me. So their father's beating up my mother, right? And I didn't know about that. He gets thrown out a third floor window, in comes my dad in the picture. My mother gets pregnant, has me, so my father's raising me and the two girls. But my dad a real street guy, so he's in and out of jail. He's not always there. So most of the times it was me, them, and Mary. Now, my mother, there was never ever in the, like, even though we was like, grew up in projects in Boston, and there was never with the street. Like, my mother's a Cape Verdean woman. All she did was work. She never got indulged with the streets. Grew up in the hood, in the projects, in the worst parts, but was never involved with none of the streets.
For sure.
My dad was the opposite. Heavy in the hood, heavy with the Italians, heavy with the Irish. Like my dad was that guy. So I think my sisters were a little intimidated of my dad a little bit now, you know what I'm saying? But I never, like when you grow up as a family, you don't see dysfunction. Even if it's poverty, we didn't have, we in a small private, we lived at Academy Homes projects, Jamaica Plain, Academy Homes, but then moved to Four Corners in the second floor house, but it was still the hood, but we grew up happy. Yeah, I love my sisters, I didn't see dysfunction. Both my sisters went to college and were successful. One 8 years at Tuskegee, a major doctorate veterinarian. The other one, 6 years, she's a doctor at major hospitals, and like, you know, like they did good. They was never in the streets as they grew up. I went 12, 13. That's when my father, you know, my father was introducing me to shit at a young age, and I was on the block every time he got locked up. So I was out there early. I looked up to my sisters. I loved them. Maureen had her first baby, my nephew. I couldn't be more proud. This is like, I didn't know what the fuck a nephew was. This is dope. I'm like, yeah, this is my little nigga, you know what I'm saying? Right. So as he grew up, he wanted to be a DJ, you know, because that's all I ever been, hip hop. So he wants to be like his uncle. So I did everything for him, turntables. Once we started making money with the Source, but I'm in the streets, so I'm still making money, so I always was looking out. Like I had a good run in the streets, like I was doing my thing. As we got older and I moved and more success now, you know what I'm saying? TV now, Love and Hip Hop, the Source, when I'm with the Source, I'm sending them thousands of dollars back home, big checks. Even though they're getting pretty good salaries, I'm still sending big checks. These are my sisters, my mother, my nephew. So as time went on, like, I never had an argument with my nephew in my life. In my life. His father, you know what I'm saying, Jamaican dude, good dude, but he was strung off on crack. So he really, you know what I'm saying, the father figure wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? Not like, you know what I mean? That was like my man. I didn't understand what the fuck was going on. So I would include him on everything I'm doing. You would see him in my videos and everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's big, you know what I'm saying? He's like 6'something", he's a big guy. But he's not, he never did nothing in the streets either. Ever, no felony, nothing, right? On no blocks, nothing. Just was kind of real smart with the computers and DJing and, you know what I'm saying? But didn't have to go with the streets because his mother, his uncle, I wasn't allowing that. I didn't want that for him.
Right.
All right. As time goes on, my mother started getting dementia. But before that, right before that, me and my sister, this was earlier, me and my sister Maureen had went half on a house, and my mother moved in the 3rd floor apartment of the house, right? Big house for like 180, but years later, of course, it's gonna sell for more and shit, a lot more. So she was on the 3rd floor and she's old, she can't keep climbing these stairs, so I'm like, listen, at some point, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna have to get her out of there. I bought her own house. But all through this, my mother's really getting worse with dementia. And it was fucked up. That's like my best friend, you know, because through it all, it's been me and her. You know, when everybody left, it was me and her. So she starts getting dementia bad, worse and worse. Come to find out that Maureen, that my nephew and his mother took out loans of credit on these houses and signed my mother's name. Because my mother, you know, it was my mother, I put the money up, but it was my mother's name that went half with them. I put the money up for my mother. And then I went and bought her own house. They took loans of credit on both houses. I'm in New York. I'm not even living in Boston. We would have never known. I forgot how we found out, but my father had told me, seen Guy, that's my nephew in Miami. And next thing you know, we ended up finding out. And it was fucked up. Like she was real sick. Like, how could you do that? How the fuck could you do that? Now, mind you, I'm filming Love and Hip Hop at this point.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So, you know, now I get the call like, yeah. So now she got real sick, so she had to move from this house back to over there with them so my sister could take care of her. All of a sudden, she dies. Now, she had dementia, but she didn't have anything the matter with her physical, right? Crazy. And, you know, her insurance, the only person that was on it, she worked at the Prudential Insurance Company for over 30 years. Her policy was crazy. Only one was on it was Maureen. Not even my other sister or me. But them two are 2 peas in a pod, Maureen and my sister.
Right.
So it's like, come to find out years later, I just started seeing this like, you know, they probably had resentment against my mother because of what happened to their father, thinking my father had something to do with it. And this goes in my head because I'm like, I can't even believe this shit because I did nothing wrong to nobody.
Right.
I've only helped my family all the time. There was never arguments, problems, nothing.
Right.
It's when they started getting my mother in their care and started fucking her over for her finances. Now even when she passed, all her jewelry or whatever, I bought her. I don't know where the fuck that at. We don't know what happened. When my father went to the hospital, they wouldn't even let my father up to see her. So I knew some suck shit was going on. So when she passed, it was like I'm filming Love and Hip Hop. I had to go to the wake, right? So I ran up to Boston, and the wake, the sisters was playing the wake. I didn't even want to go around these moms. I just called the people that had the wake in the funeral home and was like, you know, what time was it? And then I asked them if I could come 2 hours earlier. I don't want to be around nobody. I don't want to see nobody. I don't want to see nobody at this point. This is f***ed up. Get to the wake, 2 hours, I sat there, I had them close the casket, I didn't even want to see her. You know, I don't even want to see her like that. Closed the cassette, sat there and spoke with her for like an hour and a half hour. Then I left. I decided the next day, it was Saturday, Sunday, I'm going back to Atlanta. I don't want to go to the funeral because I don't want all this chaos. I just felt I felt it. You know what I'm saying? With my sisters, I just felt that there was going to be problems.
Right.
Come to find out, I think my kids told me that that guy, that he went to the wake with a trench coat on. Now, mind you, I don't know none of this. I don't know, like, you know what I'm saying? God must have thought that I was going to make a move on him because of the information I got with them fucking over my mother. So I said, all right.
Guy is your nephew.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now, the next day I'm flying back. I'm flying back because you know what? The best thing for me to do is just go. You know what I'm saying? I spoke with my mom. It's done. I'll let God take care of it at this point. I get a call from Stevie. I'm getting ready to get on a plane in 3 hours, book my flight and everything. I get a call from Stevie. Yo, what you doing? Now, they wanted to bury my mother next to the father. My mother's family said, fuck no, she don't want to be next to him. He abused her. So she had to get buried in the Cape. The Cape's 45 minutes away from Boston. Cape Cod. It's a 2-lane highway. The widest highway you can imagine, right? No hood on this highway. Plymouth County, you get hung out there for any crime. All right, this is where the Plymouth Rock started, right there. It's just that Cape Verdean people, my mother, that's where they moved to, down the Cape. So it's all Cape Verdean people. That's why all her family's buried out there. I got aunts, uncles, and everything. So I said, she's like, yo, I came to surprise you. I'm at the funeral. I'm like, my nigga, I wasn't even gonna go. He's like, damn, man, I'm way out here. He was like, oh, man. I said, how you get out there? He said, cab. I said, all right, look, stay there. I'm gonna come get you. I said, there's a sub shop out over there. I said, I'm gonna come pick you up from the sub shop. He said, all right, bet, I know you're talking about. He said, I'm gonna get something to eat by the time I finish. I said, all right, bet. I start driving out there, and I'm 20 minutes into the ride. And I'm on the left side, and I noticed the funeral procession with the blinking lights. I said, what the f is this? I said, ain't this a bitch? I bet you this is my mother's funeral. You know, and as I'm hitting the stars, as I'm going past it, I'm noticing my family on the right side. I said, damn, that's my family. Like, this is it. I go to the front. I see the 2 hearse, and then I guess there's the car in front. Pop, 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 pop. Just shooting at me, right? Look. I get hit like twice. So my arm just immediately, I lost, because I'm driving with this arm, so I lost feeling in my arm, right? So as I'm driving, I'm driving, but I'm trying to see if I'm hit. I'm breathing heavy and I just up to the top mic. I'm breathing heavy, and I fishtailed to come back because he had 3 guns and he's just dumping. So I'm driving against the traffic now. Then I crash to the right. So I jump out the car. I was hit 3 times. I jump out the car, and I ran towards the hearse. He's still dumping. I went to go open the hearse door, and so I just seen a finger lock the door. So I couldn't open it. I couldn't, on my mother, man. And I don't even know, and the crazy shit is I didn't even see a face. I just remember a finger because it's the old school locks on the hearse. And I just remember it. I just remember seeing the finger. I don't even know who the face was. I know the hand was light skinned. Right. I do know that. So now I'm running down to see if I can get in another car. So my Aunt Geneva's, God rest her, I jumped in the back of her daughter's car. I said, you gotta go over to Medium and get me to a hospital. She was screaming, because they're not street people. They don't see this shit. They're going crazy. I'm leaking like a mom. So we drive across the Medium and we're going back. Now this is important. As soon as that happened, as soon as I was in, he called the police. He made the first 911 call and said he just shot a man.
Through the car, he just did a drive-by.
He said he called the police. He had stepped out at this point. He said he just shot a man in self-defense. Said it was Benzino, right? Because I had a gun and I was about to shoot him. Now, this is Sunday afternoon, right? I didn't have no strap. I'd be strapped. I didn't have no strap. I didn't even have, why the f am I need a strap to go out to go get Stevie in Plymouth on a Sunday afternoon, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I didn't have no strap. I made a decision to take my back to Atlanta. So now, as soon as we get to the exit, you know what I'm saying, it's raining out. The state troopers pull up on us, grab me out the car, strip me butt naked. I'm talking drawers, everything. They taking my pants off. Where's the gun? Where's the gun? That, where's the gun? He said that what you mean that's he said? I said he shot me. You know what I'm saying? So we going through the motions of back and forth, like, no. He said that I said, listen, motherfucker, I said he shot I'm kind of panicking because I don't really know if I'm getting set up. I don't know what's going on because they stripped me naked, dick out, everything, bro. It was embarrassing because my cousins are right there. Like they stripped me naked, threw me in shit. They're still doing ballistics tests for the gun. Then they must have came to the hospital, and the detectives was there. These are dickheads, and they've been trying to fuck me over for years. You know what I'm saying? And they was like, yeah, I said, man, he shot me. I said everything he's saying, that's bullshit. He shot me. I said he admitted to you he shot me. Like he told you he shot me, so what the fuck do you mean with there was no gun? Right. When it was time for the grand jury, which I knew, right? Because they want to hang guy. Like guy me and there was helicopters, we're in Plymouth. This is like, bro, we're 15 minutes from Plymouth and Falmouth and one of them other ones, but this is hangman territory, bro. This ain't Boston. This ain't Suffolk County.
Sundown town.
This is Plymouth County. You like, bro, you can't like you over, and everybody in that area knows it. I went to the grand jury, and they said that the jury was picked, and this was a big thing because again, you know, he shot me above the waist. Anything below the waist is assault with a deadly weapon. Anything above the waist is attempted. So it was attempted charge plus shooting in the public dwelling. There was all this other little shit because he's dumping on one of the most famous highways, you know what I'm saying? Like in Massachusetts and in daylight, they don't go for that. So they're asking me, like they're grilling me and shit about this shit, the prosecutor. Because the prosecutor wants me to be like, yeah, he did, because everybody else, there's other witnesses that said that he shot on the thing. All they need me is to say, yes, he shot me, and it's easy. It's a closed case. He goes to jail for 15, 20 years for attempted. I said, I don't know who shot me. I don't know who shot me. I said, yeah, but you said in this initial, I don't care what I said. I said, I don't know who shot me. And yeah, I was panicking, I was dizzy, I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know who shot me. Right. I thought that was it. A few weeks later, they called my lawyer and said that I had to come to court. And I said, I'm not going to court. So you got to come to court. So we was going back and forth. They was going to give me 6 months to start immediately if I didn't fucking go to court. 6 months contempt of court if I didn't go. I went to court. He's sitting right there with his fat lawyer. Do you see anybody in this courtroom right now that shot you? Nope. Easy as that, and I got the fuck out of there. Right. Guy got 13 months. Guy did 13 months. He got 18 months, and only 18. That was because of the in the public dwelling. With that, the other witnesses that came, because after I left, there was a gang more witnesses. I don't even know who these are. That was just in cars in the street, I guess. I don't know. Right. But they must have testified. He got 18 months and did 13. If everybody now this even if you ain't street or if you're a box of rocks or didn't graduate from middle school, do you think that if I snitched, he would have got 13 fucking months? Oh no, I know for a fact he would. Let's make it make sense, man. I saved his fucking ass. Yeah, right. He's my nephew. I didn't want him to go. Look, I'm not no rat anyways. Right. But you think I would have sent my nephew away for 20 years? Like, nah, it wasn't like that. Again, family business. All this was dysfunction it's so embarrassing because I really grew up thinking that my family, like we got not the perfect family, but sisters went to college, I'm successful, and this is up. And it's like over money and greed and suck shit and lying. Like, bro, if y'all needed the money, come and talk to me. Yeah. You don't do that shit because it all stemmed from that. Damn. He must have thought that I was gonna make a move on him because they got caught. Like, come on, man. So now, that's why So he thought that you was gonna send him to jail for that. Not send him to jail, make a move on him. Oh. He knew I wasn't gonna send him to jail. Right. He probably thought I was gonna try to do something to him. Right. That's my mother, and she's sick. Yeah. That's some up shit for him. They gotta deal with God with that. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think God's gonna let them get away with that.
Right.
Me. You don't do that. Not she had dementia. Like my mother loved them. My mother, again, she wasn't no ghetto or no, she worked. So it must have been some type of anger from the father to my father. It had to be. Because I don't see it. It's just another example of a black dysfunctional family over money. If I was broke, I'd have no problems with nobody. When you're broke in your family, man, you can go to all the parties, all the events, hey, whoever got the money, you're gonna be an outcast soon enough.
Yeah.
And if you give it to them, it don't even matter. Because once you stop, they're gonna hate you regardless. You're better off not doing if I could give any advice, because I did everything for mine and look what it did to me. So, but I don't, listen, times change. That's over with. You know what I'm saying? Live and let live, man. I feel good. I made it through, and let's keep it moving. Ain't the first situation. I've been through many situations. God got me. You know what I'm saying? It ain't the first time. I've been through a lot of crazy shit. That was crazy because it's family shit, but you know what I'm saying? It just gave me a different perspective on life and on family. And it's all right. You live and you learn. You're not gonna stop learning until you get in the box. But you can't harbor anger because there's so much beautiful things and there's so much, you know what I'm saying? I'm in a great relationship, man. I got beautiful kids, man. I got great friends. That's over with. That's a different time, man. That's done. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Keep it moving, man.
It's the Leylo Show. Hit that subscribe button for me, player.